My name is SoulsReaper, and I send this message to anyone out there, refugee among the stars. We are here. We are waiting.
Hey y'all, welcome to SoulsReaper Healing. We're going to continue on with individual signs. I already did water and earth, so we're going to do fire, and we're starting off with Sagittarius. The first card out for Sagittarius was number 40, water element sensing. This card represents the current influence on the collective of Sag. I don't know about you guys, I've been seeing a lot of 4s and 9s as well. There's number 9 is the Sag card, 4 is the element card. We also have 33 on the bottom of the Black Man Astrology. Patience is number 2, manifestation is number 8. So any of those numbers may resonate with you. 8 and 2 is also 10, which can be completions. The next card out is our guidance, Sagittarius. It could be anywhere in your chart, it doesn't have to be your sun sign. Blame. I accept responsibility for my well-being. The bottom of the deck of the Soul's Journey is service. I feel good when I can help others. And both of these are yellow. Yellow is the solar plexus chakra, and then on the right there's orange, so that's sacral. So these two chakras are being worked on right now. Before we go into this Pisces energy, which I don't know about you guys, but I've already been feeling this Pisces energy, very dreamy energy, floaty. And then with this water sensing card, it's a flow card, and I also feel with that it's emotion. So allowing the emotions to come in, kind of allowing them to flow freely. So instead of the traditional Sagittarius way, instead of just going through it and kind of processing some of it, but not processing all of it, because as a Sagittarius, I'm not a Sagittarius sun, but I have it in 5 placements, 5 planets. So I do have a lot of Sagittarius energy. It's kind of like that, embracing the knowledge and the wisdom that's coming into you right now. And that's, what I get with this faith card. Embracing what you are receiving, downloads, becoming stronger within your faith. But I feel like having a bigger perspective, more so than what you've already had. A lot more downloads. I didn't show you guys this card, but I don't know how well you can see it. He's got a lot of, I say he because it looks like a male's hand. It could be the female. It's not gender specific. But it has the symbols, like the planets and stuff like that. But this is also palmistry. So some of you may be into palmistry or have been curious about it sometime in your life, and that's just a little note on the side. But I really feel, and some of you may be receiving certain downloads, codes, whether it's numerology, can be specific things about how planets are working with you right now at this time, during this, during this Pisces energy. The card that came out for clarity over the spread was the number 2 patience card. And I know, Sag, I know. Patience is one of those that we definitely need to embrace this lifetime. Sag, we like to run out there and just, when we decide, we just go. And sometimes we're not the most patient of the bunch, so that's why. It is also another thing that we are learning in this lifetime, to be more patient, not just with, people outside of you, yes, that, but more so with ourselves. We are our own worst critics. We create all kinds of stories in our mind about ourselves, and then we believe them. So we're being asked to be, in regards to this spread, and also with what's going on in your particular life at this time, it's asking us to be patient with ourselves, not to be too hard on ourselves, because we have to understand, and this was on the bottom of the deck, manifestation is number 8. We have to understand that our thoughts are very important as part of how we manifest. I mean, if we are not manifesting out of a place with those other elements balanced, we will manifest something that is not what we need right now. So be mindful. Be aware of what thoughts you're having. Because with that 8, the how it goes back and forth, the as within, so without. What you give is what you get. That's what I'm getting with this card, is being aware of what you're manifesting. And if we step into the space of patience and not trying to push a manifestation, things will work out more for your highest good. High picturing in my right ear. With this blame card, I accept responsibility for my well-being. This is guidance. If you are blaming yourself for something, yes, we have to be in a space of acceptance, accepting responsibility for whatever we have manifested into our lives. We have to accept responsibility of the things that we have created. In the same sense of that, understanding that if you're putting so much blame upon yourself, it kind of goes over here with this patience and manifestation. You don't want to manifest more of this. We don't want to manifest this. Because blame is victim consciousness. Believing that things happen to you and not for you. And this is something that a lot of us have worked really hard to heal and release and let go of. Also, with this being guidance, you know, it's telling us this is something that we might be addressing at this time. You know, with that flow card, that emotion water card, it is asking us to allow the flow of things, to let these emotions wash through. Like the flow, you know, kind of like the 8, you know, let it flow through you. Allow the emotion to come in and to address whatever pops up. And you can do it however you feel comfortable. I feel comfortable, I have my own routines that I do. Journaling helps me a lot. It's really beneficial, I think, because it helps us to put things down on paper, and then when you can go back and read it, then it tends to, number one, you see a different perspective. You can see different aspects of where you were in that moment, what you are addressing in that moment. It helps to find the core issue. And later I'm going to go more into that, because I'm going to do some different things on this channel to assist others with shadow work. But with this service card being here on the bottom of the deck next to the blame card, I feel good when I can help others. So if any of you guys are in the space of, you know, being in your emotions and kind of, you know, reassessing, you know, Mercury is going to be, I think it's going to be in retrograde. I don't think it's there yet. That's kind of like that energy, redo, reprocess type energy. So if we're looking back on something that maybe we did, or maybe we believed to be true at the time, I feel like with this it's saying, you know, look at what happened, you know, let it flow through you, process the information, but to release the blame. Release the blame of yourself and others. And anytime I do one of these spreads, I want, my intention is that it gives us guidance for us, and for our well-being, our highest good. Not anything outside of us, because we do create our own journey, our own path. So anything that has happened, being asked to be patient with ourselves and allow this blame to go away, to stop blaming ourselves for things that's happened in the past. Excuse me, because we can't jump. I used to say this all the time, and I never understood, you know, really how true that was, but it's kind of, excuse me, ironic that this is coming out now, but we can't jump in a time machine and go back in time and change it. I mean, yes, there's all different types of, you know, there's different timelines and things like that. Reincarnation, of course, and all those other wonderful things, you know, that I believe in. That doesn't mean you have to believe in any of that stuff, but that's kind of the way I see it. But this lifetime, can you go back and change it? No. And honestly, you know, when you're on this journey and you start seeing things from a different perspective, you start stepping further into your faith and loving of self. you and I see things totally different. We see things as part of this journey for us to learn those specific lessons. Those people had to appear in our lives to be the teacher. And sometimes we are the teacher. And sometimes we're both, the student and the teacher. I really feel, the further I've got on this journey, I can look back at every single relationship I've had thus far, and it doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. But a lot of us, it's easier to look at romantic relationships because those are the ones that tend to play like the major roles in our lives, and besides our relationships with our parents or whoever raised us, because that is the initial relationship. But I can look back on each relationship and see something that I learned, see something that I needed to learn about myself. That's what shadow work is all about, is addressing our issues within ourselves. Things that we have created, beliefs, patterns, all of those things, we don't have to, we have free will, but and most people who go to channels and they're watching tarot and things like that, and researching esoteric and things like that, are wanting to step into something more. Wanting, already ask that question, isn't there more, stepping off the hamster wheel and embracing the changes that need to happen, the not so pretty things that we find within ourselves, and the crazy things that we've told ourselves, the beliefs that we have. It just sometimes floors me when I look back and I'm like, how did I create that from that? I was taught this and I turned it into this because of my own self-worth, because I didn't feel worthy of this, or, you start to connect the dots and start to see how, when we can step into a space of true, authentic love for oneself and all of the craziness that we are, all of the things that we've been through, all of the things that we have created to go through, we really start embracing the beauty of everything outside of us. Everything becomes more vibrant. Every day is a blessing. Every day is something new. You can create something new. You can try something new. Step outside of the box. But that's what I have for Sagittarius today. I hope this helped you guys. I'm going to go ahead and repeat those numbers again just in case. 33, which is master number, number 4, 9, 2, 8, or 10. Could have been seeing any of these numbers, multiples. Anytime you see multiples, it just means that number is amplified. But that is what I have, and I hope this message assists some of you, or maybe just one of you today. But I will see you guys soon, and I hope you have a beautiful evening. Hey Leo, you guys are next up on the list of fire signs. Immediately I got, when I was shuffling, Thundercats. I don't know if you guys remember Thundercats. I know I watched it a lot growing up. I'm a 70s baby, so I don't remember the exact year that Thundercats came out, but I don't know, that may be a message for somebody. You might want to look it up, see when it came out. But I got Thundercats with Leo, and then the deck was very heavy, and it's like you guys didn't want to talk. So there may be some burden that you're carrying. And when the Black Moon Astrology is the card that I pull for the primary influence that you are dealing with at this time. And that's the Oracle card that I use. And you guys got two. I usually only go with one for the primary influence. But you guys got two. You got Gemini, I think, and Aries, I am. The Gemini card is a 15, which is a 6, and the Aries I am is a 13, which is a 4. And then 6 and 4 is 10, so completion. But the first thing that I got after I got Thunder Cats was seeing these together, because the bottom of the Black Moon Astrology is Solar Eclipse Revolution. It's number 44. The thing that I got with this right off the bat was being at war within oneself. Because, you know, this says revolution, and then you have the Gemini, I think, and then you have the Aries, I am. So, Gemini being the twins, and then Aries is the babies of the zodiac. They're the very beginning of the zodiac. So, I think, which is one thing, and then I am, which is another. So that's kind of where I got that at war with yourself energy. Going back and forth in your head. You know, Gemini is the twins. But yeah, that's kind of where I got the opposite energy, because a lot of you understand, you know, your understanding of how manifestation and connection to self works, and when you get to the space, when we get to the space of I am, that's when we have integrated air, fire, earth, and water. That's when we've integrated all of those things, which is your mind, your emotions, your 3D, and your passion. When you combine all four of those elements together, and it's kind of a magician energy. When you reach that place within yourself, that's when you understand the I am. But that's why I kind of feel this at war within yourself. The twin energy, because think is being within one's head. Also, it can be trying to make a decision about a leap of faith, because Aries is the first symbol in the zodiac, the first element in the zodiac, when, you know, from start down to finish. Aries is the first one. So, to me, that kind of gives me a little bit of fool energy, like taking a leap, trying to do or wanting to do something new, but kind of being in the twin energy of, do I do this? Do I take this leap? You know, and it still boils down to being at war with yourself, because you're having these thoughts within yourself, trying to make a decision. The card you guys got out for a soul's journey is empathy. I'm open to seeing both sides in a situation. Sorry if you guys can't see that very well. It's a little dark in here. And relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And there's purple on this card, and then there's purple on that one as well. And purple is crown, chakra. Yeah. So with this at war within yourself energy, just with these two cards coming out, because this is the guidance, we're being asked, and the reason I say we is because you guys, some of you who are on this channel have been to other tarot channels and things like that, you understand that we have all signs in our chart somewhere, even if it's not on your main birth chart area. It can be in a trine or a square, or, and I still haven't learned that part of the chart, but we have all signs in our chart. But what I'm feeling, like I said, with the these two here, with the empathy and the relationships, and then relating to the being at war within self, we're being asked to see both sides of a situation, but also to have boundaries, being at a place where you understand, you now understand what serves your highest good, like the card says, what serves your highest good, what relationships are good for you and what relationships are not. So boundaries are important, but also being open to hearing someone out. It could be with whatever this decision is, and like I said, I feel it's with relationships just because the relationship card came out, but also just feeling that's why Leos are kind of at war within themselves. The Thundercats. I'm going to start calling you guys the Thundercats from now on. Because I loved the Thundercats and they were amazing. But knowing your worth, knowing what you deserve and what you want, not having boundaries and wanting to manifest what is for your highest good. And then the other card that came out from the numerology oracle deck was a 33 communication. You guys have a lot of master numbers in your spread. There's not very many cards out here, but you guys have a 33, a 44, 57, which equals a 3. Aries is a 13, which equals a 4. Gemini, 15, equals a 6. These two together equal a 10. So it could also be that you are completing this cycle of being at war with yourself and stepping into seeing this from a different perspective. Seeing something different than what you did before. Because with this communication card and then teaching and learning being underneath the deck, this over here is the clarity over the spread. This is the guidance. And this is the clarity. So the clarity over this spread is communication, teaching, and learning. So communicating clearly what it is that you want, being open, but also having boundaries. Now, and I'm seeing the I am again, because you have the Aries I am in the center, which is your current influence. So you're being influenced by Gemini and Aries. And you may have that somewhere in your chart, maybe aspected somehow. But I also see the I am right here on the first part of this relationships card. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And Gemini is a very communicative sign. It's an air sign. And then you have the air communication card. And it could be that, you're communicating, what it is that you want. Or you could possibly be, with this teaching and learning, you could possibly be in a teaching type profession, or someone who has a podcast, or, excuse me, I did this in Sagittarius right here. Excuse me. You could have some, maybe even a profession that, you use your voice to teach. Or you could, this communication could be someone giving you, wanting to communicate with you and collaborate. Teaching and learning, that's a collaboration, that's a reciprocity. But that's the clarity over the spread, is that some sort of communication needs to happen in order for this to be a lesson learned. About seeing both sides of a situation and being open to those things for your highest good. But then when we got that, that war energy in between, I feel like that's because all of the planets that we've had that have been retrograde and all this intense energy that's been going on. Now we're going into Pisces energy, which is more of a dreamy type energy. But it can be hard to focus sometimes and actually have your thoughts clearly, or to think clearly with the Pisces energy and then everything else happening in a retrograde. So that could be why you're having this war within yourself. Or, just, I think I am. It can also be just literal. You're thinking that you are one thing, you are one way, and then you might be finding out that you're not. Whatever it is that you believe about yourself, you might be figuring out that's not who you are within yourself, who the true you is. And that could just be something that you are discovering at this time, or you're being asked to look at. Because communication can also be, communication within self, from your higher self, from your guides, angels, ancestors, whatever your beliefs are. But it can also be downloads, messages that you're receiving, something that you maybe being asked to teach, or something could be asking to teach something that you've learned. We do, that's what we're here. We're here to learn different things, and once we have beat something, we have learned how to change a pattern, or release an old pattern and create new, embrace the inner child, and it's like being back to that state. That's why they got the Thundercats. Healing that inner child of whatever patterns and beliefs were, I don't know why I wanted to say forced upon. So some of you possibly had traumas from childhood. I know a lot of us did. Some more extreme than others, but whatever beliefs that you had about yourself, I really feel like that's what this, this is whatever beliefs you were told about you. That's what this war is. The old you versus the new you. Old, new. Because Aries is new energy. It's full energy, taking leap type energy. So releasing maybe the old, or maybe just releasing, being in your head all the time and stepping away from that, going towards something new, releasing the past. The ability to see both sides of a situation because you've been there. You've experienced that lesson before. I mean, we experience the same lessons over and over and over again until we understand the lesson. So I hope this helps you guys. This is the energy I'm feeling for Leos, the Thundercats. That's going to be your alls. That's what I'm going to call you guys from now on. I hope this helps someone. And maybe a little bit of clarity on, even if you were feeling a little bit, like I said, first off, at war within yourself. Maybe this helps you see something that may have been a pattern or trigger. Maybe something I said may have been something that resonates with what you're going through at this current time. Just have empathy with yourself. Understand that we are all human and we all go through trials and tribulations. It's a matter of how we react, how we treat ourselves within that moment, and how we treat others. Because how we treat ourselves is what's projected outside of us to others. So, it's going to be okay. It just, the energy's been pretty crazy lately. But yeah, that's what I have for you guys. So there you go, Thundercats. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you guys soon. Hey Aries, you guys are next up. I was trying to think, but I had something that just flew right out of my head. Anyways, first card out is a 34, 10th house, the world. 34 equals a 7. The first thing I noticed was you have 10th house here as the card that came out. The bottom of the deck is that this card represents current influence. And then the bottom of the deck is first house, the body, which is a 25, which equals a 7. So you've got double 7 right here. But you also have 10th house, which 10s are completion, right? The world. And then you have first house right here, so new beginning. So the first thing I got with that was, yeah, you guys have completed something. And now you're starting, excuse me, with a new beginning. The card that came out for the Soul's Journey is Judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And then the bottom of that deck is relationships. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And then this card came out for the Numerology Oracle deck, Teaching and Learning 57. This one also came out for Leo. That equals a 12, which is a 3. 3s are collaboration, And then the bottom of that deck is change, which is a 5. That equals an 8. So, since this is the influence, endings, new beginnings, 10th house. I haven't done this in the other readings, but I kind of want to look at what this says about this card. Because I know it's, you know, completions, beginnings, new beginnings. Let's see if there's some other insight that this has, because it has different things about, you know, the card. It says key ideas, life's calling, what you have to do, career, the mother, the father, glory, reputation, fame. Let's see what this says. Because the 10th house is the house of Capricorn, it indicates you're about to put forth a diligent and concentrated effort. The climb and the advancement of your reputation is what the 10th house card means when it turns up in the spread. It also suggests looking at everything as the big picture. Since the 10th house is ruled by Saturn, being required to tell the truth or to be honest will have great bearing on how you advance your goals. Layers of illusion will be removed, your essential self disclosed. This could be in relation to public or a possible love interest. If a love interest, they could be older or more established, or they will work along beside you in meeting your goals. Truth and honesty will decide this matter. The universe is supporting you now. So, okay. And that could be, you know, it's teaching and learning and changes as well. I mean, they're tying it together with the completion of whatever this is, whatever you're completing. And it can be anything. It can be, you're leaving, because with this judgment in relationships, you could be possibly leaving a relationship. Or you could have already left the relationship and your divorce is going to be final, or you're separating from a boyfriend, girlfriend, leaving a job, leaving, you can be moving, Aries. This is, because relationships can be anything. With this judgment, I understand that everyone has their own unique paths and challenges. So I kind of feel like now that you've reached this completion, this is the energy you're in right now. This is your influence. 10th house is influencing the world. Since you're completing this cycle, you're having a greater understanding of how others play a role in your life. You know, and especially with this relationships card coming out, is within relationships more so than anything else, which that's how we learn, guys. It's relationships in our lives, and that can be anything from friends, lovers, jobs, any of those things. Those are relationships. Understanding that, like the card says, everyone has their own unique path and challenges. We each have our own path that we walk. And because we have free will, it's on us to which direction that we take and how we ascertain, you know, how we understand specific relationships or what role they play. Like, what did they teach you? What did this last situation, whether it be work, love, oh, excuse me, work, love, job, whatever you just completed or you are completing in this moment. Seeing it, because this is their guidance. You're seeing this from you're calling it, you're making a judgment call, or you've already made a judgment call on whatever this is, and you're keeping those boundaries or establishing new boundaries for the highest good of yourself, knowing what you deserve. And that very well could have been the lesson you were learning, was to when to call judgment, when to let go of something, when to say that's it, that time's up. I've done this over and over again, and I've learned the lesson. I don't want to do it anymore. It's like, okay, I give, I tap out. That's what I'm seeing. I'm done. I tap out of this, whatever this is. And that's what the completion is. And then you're stepping into the new. First house of the body. I don't think I've ever really looked at this card that closely, but I just kind of saw. I don't know if you can see that person right there, but it looks like this is this person. They're possibly, some of you may be astral travel, having some astral travel go on. Definitely have angels, guides, ancestors around you at this time, more so than normal. And that's probably because of whatever this completion is, to assist you. And with this teaching and learning and change, it can be just that simple, that you're learning something new. Could be that you're just learning that things have to change. Things have to change in order for us to evolve. But this is the clarity over, what the influence, what's going on in this spread. This is the clarity. And it's possible that you are a teacher, or you're teaching someone how to love you, or you're learning how to be in a relationship. Are you looking at things differently, and that is changing some aspects in your life and your relationships with, people, places, things? Yes, I'm really getting a completion. Just with that alone, the completion energy could also be stepping into some of your gifts. You may have gotten some downloads recently from your higher self or ancestors. And this, maybe astral travel can be a new gift that you are stepping into that maybe you've never had before. Or there can just be other things that you're receiving through downloads, or getting ready to receive. But with this being clarity over this current energy right now, I feel like these are the new gifts that you've received downloads about, and you're now starting to step into those with this judgment call. That's what I have for you guys, Aries. I hope this helped in some way. And I will see you guys soon.
Hey Gemini. Welcome in, my twins. It's time for y'all's reading. Y'all, what's up next? So, first card out, second house owning, number 26. That equals an 8. And the bottom of the Black Moon Astrology Oracle is a 30, 6th house routine. The first thing I got from this was the 2 pentacles up top. But I also see this as the 3 because you have the larger one here, which kind of reminds me of the ace. But the first thing I got, and this may just be for one or two of you, with the 2 of Pentacles. Could be some kind of collaboration going on, or balancing of finances, or it's possible that you're looking at what your routine is, and are you balancing your routine out? Like, let's say for instance, with your spiritual life, are you balancing the 2? But the first thing I got was collaboration overall. I got collaboration, some sort of collaboration going on for a few of you. The next card that came out from the Soul's Journey is Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. I don't know how well you can see that. The bottom of that deck is Envy. I am the same as everybody, but with different challenges. And then from the Numerology Oracle deck, a 22 Intuition and 27 Spiritual Partnership. 27 equals a 9. 22 is one of the master numbers. Bottom of that deck is 61 Self-Love. So that card equals a 7. I feel like with this intuition, spiritual partnership, basically it's just, you know, you're following your inner guidance, and you know that you're being prepared for a spiritual partnership. This here is the clarity over this spread. But you're being asked to look at the self-love aspect, or perhaps in this time frame you've been in healing and working on yourself and establishing love within yourself, embracing the inner child, and have been doing a lot of healing, or it's asking you to possibly look at that for preparation of what you already know is coming. With the Success and then Envy, couple different things I got with this. Success says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love, and you know that falls in with the self-love aspect. And I feel like intuitively you know that you're stepping into success. There's a lot of changes going on. We're in Pisces energy right now. I mean, it's not officially in Pisces, but I know a lot of you who are very sensitive probably already have started feeling the Piscean energy. So be mindful of that, because Pisces energy is very dreamy, and sometimes it can be kind of hard to focus, because it's trying to decipher between the real and unrealistic. It's like a dreamy state. And this can be that, because this is the guidance. To achieve this success that you're going after, there may be a wound within yourself that is making you feel like certain people are better than you or something like that, and that could very well be a childhood program. It's a self-worth. And that could have been something from childhood to where, or you grew up in a family where you didn't have much, and you would see others, other kids and stuff with different things, and your parents just weren't able to afford those things. But it is a program. So with this being the guidance, I feel like it's saying in order for you to fully embrace this success and fully embrace love to the fullest extent, this is maybe one thing that you need to address. A wound. This can possibly be something that you are currently working on right now, because this does tie into this Two of Pentacles. As far as finances, go. Balancing your finances with your routine, balancing out your spiritual and your physical 3D life, and not having a fear that someone, not having that fear that you may have had as a child, or that belief that you may have had as a child that you're not good enough. Because remember, it is just a pattern or a belief. It's something that usually stems, usually stems from childhood. Someone could have said something to you as a child. It doesn't even have to be a parent. It could have been a teacher, or another child, or anything like that. But as humans, we create these mechanisms to protect us from ever feeling that again. So in order to do that, then we want to do and want to have certain things in life, but in order for us to embrace those things, we have to let go of the old patterns and the old beliefs of who we think we are. The old avatars that you created. I know I have Gemini in my chart, and we all do, guys. You have every sign in your chart somewhere. It just may not be highly aspected, or it may be in a specific place in your chart, like a square or a trine, and I don't know a whole lot about those and how they work. I know a little bit about astrology, but not a lot. It's kind of my motto, a little bit of everything, but not a master. Always learning. So I really feel like that's what this is saying, Gemini, is to fully embrace the success that you want. You have to release this belief. And like I said, it probably stemmed from childhood somewhere. That you're not good enough, or not smart enough, or not not this or not that. You know, we tell ourselves many things as children, and a lot of people in our lives as children said things to us, and then we either interpreted that correctly or incorrectly. But either way, we created a defense against it so that we didn't ever feel that pain again. So this is something that you're probably addressing at this time. But intuitively, as far as this side goes, which is the overall clarity over just this little quick spread that I did for each of the sides, your intuition is telling you that there is a spiritual partnership. Either on its way or you are being prepared for one. But you know, in order for this to happen, you have to fully embrace self-love. You have to fully embrace yourself. And this morning I was getting, when I was driving, take my kids to school, I was getting vulnerability. And I know that one can be hard for a lot of us, especially if we've been through a lot of things in our lives. We've created that avatar to protect us from being hurt because we've been hurt so many times. We've allowed ourselves to be hurt so many times. And healed from a lot of those, but there's still some of that residual, you know, and that's kind of why I feel like Mercury is in retrograde. And that's what I feel Mercury retrograde really is it gives us that time to process some of these things that we still have that little bit of energy left in it that we have to let go of. And sometimes that's stepping out of our comfort zone, being more vulnerable, being truly open, and allowing for give and take. And that can play a part in, as well as this with second house and routine. You know, the Two of Pentacles, you know, in the traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite, you see the man juggling two pentacles back and forth. And that's why I feel it's a balance, balancing between this. So that is what I have for you, Geminis. It's just a little quick message for all the signs. I hope this helped some of you, one of you. But you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will see you soon. Hey, Aquarius. I was getting a song for you guys that because I wanted to come out and say Aquarius, the Notorious song. No, Notorious. I don't know why I got that, but that's what I got. So it may resonate with one of y'all. The first card, Mercury, is definitely in retrograde. Fifth house, creativity 29 is the card that you guys got out from Black Moon Astrology. That equals an 11. And it's also 11 on this Zodiac Oracle, Barbary Oracle. I don't know if you can see that up there. That's the Aquarius card. Right up here is an 11. And then the bottom of the deck of the Black Moon Astrology is a 16, Cancer, I feel. And the one thing that stood out to me on this card was this moon here, this full moon. So with creativity and this Cancerian energy, I feel feel like it has something to do with this full moon coming up, this Pisces full moon. And you guys may already be feeling the Pisces energy. I know I've been feeling it since yesterday, maybe a little bit the day before, but I was already starting to feel the change in the energy. Pisces energy is very dreamy. You can feel kind of foggy, floaty, things like that. But with creativity and the Cancerian energy, which Cancer energy is the mother, father, it's, I think it may be, I don't know, it's the nurturing aspect of the zodiac, the nurturers. So I feel with the combination of these two, because this is underneath, this is like subconscious, underlying, this is your current influence is creativity. So your creativity is being aspected right now. And with the Cancer energy, since that is the nurturer, you may be nurturing your your creative projects, or new projects may be coming. You might be getting downloads about some new projects, or maybe some projects that you already had started on, maybe put to the wayside. Some of you may be in theater, acting. I'm trying to see what that says on that card. I don't know if that's what it really says, but I think it looks like it says muse. So someone may be your muse for this this spark of creativity that you're feeling. The next card out from the soul's journey, and this is the guidance over this little spread that I'm doing. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. And this card always reminds me of the wheel. And then the bottom of that deck is guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. So, with these two together, something maybe from your past, something that you have experienced, that created a belief within you. Something that you've done, something, you know, that, because we all know that we can't go back and change it. We can't, all we can do is be the best version of ourselves each and every day. Each day is a new day, a new start. But I feel like with this, there may be something that either it's a pattern from childhood that you feel guilty about, something that I don't feel. We all know that holding on to guilt doesn't help us. It doesn't assist us in our growth. Because it's guilt is something that we learn. It's not something we're born with. When you're a baby, you're not feeling guilty of taking your diaper off and smearing it all over the place. I'm just, you know, I know it's kind of a weird example, but that's the first thing that popped into my head is, you know, we're not born with guilt, and not even knowing what that is when we're born. We have no clue. This is learned behavior. This is something that has been taught to us. But I feel in this sense that it's saying that it's created some loneliness within you. But they're reminding you that you are not alone. And you, deep within yourself, you know this. You know you're not alone. And I feel like right now that's what the energy is for Aquarius. This is what this creativity that you're going into right now, maybe bringing up whatever this guilt is, whatever this pattern or this belief is that created this sense, this guilt within you. Maybe someone made you feel guilty for something that you didn't need to feel guilty for, and then it just created a pattern within you. So anytime you do anything or try to use your creativity and nurture that aspect of your life, then this pattern pops up. And I feel like that's, and that may be what's kind of, I don't know if some of you may be feeling stuck. Because of this pattern. Because I know this so too well, certain patterns we have from childhood can keep us stuck and stagnant. Because anytime we try to chase certain dreams and certain goals, we have these little voices. And it's that defense mechanism that was set up as children to protect us from ever being hurt. So any things that we went through as a child, whether, and with this instance of someone projecting guilt on you, making you, kind of that reverse psychology type deal, where people make you feel guilty for something that you shouldn't have felt guilty for in the first place. But that created that pattern within you. So now anytime anyone does that same thing, then you feel maybe I'm kind of getting this over giving, over giving of yourself, because someone will trigger that and make you feel guilty, and then you'll repeat the pattern, and in turn you feel like no one understands you, and that you feel like you're alone. And I completely understand this, guys. Especially on this journey, we start going down this path to change our lives, and as we move further, people start going away from us. We start losing, friends and family members and things like that, and then it gets to a space to where it's just us. And that loneliness pattern, mind you, this is a pattern. This is not something that, we'll go back to the baby reference again, but I won't use the same one. But as a child, as a baby, when we are born, we do not know what loneliness is. It is a pattern. It is a belief. It is something that was taught, something that was shown to us in one way, shape, or form, which created another pattern. So anytime we feel this guilt, whether it's someone using a reverse psychology or someone just making us, trying to project, not making us, because we have the choice to feel this or not. This is our choice to feel it or to not feel it, to allow someone to guilt trip us or to not allow. And that's where boundaries come into place. But the main thing is to heal that, to find the root of that pattern, Whenever it came upon you, you know, and a lot of us, I know me personally, because I journal, and a lot of my childhood I don't remember, not that far back. But somewhere, and it doesn't just have to be when you were tiny, you know, it could have been something that started there, but as you got older, so then you can kind of pinpoint from that situation, like if it happened as a teenager or a preteen, you know. I can remember things from when I was a preteen and teenager, more teenager type stuff. But if you journal, you can start seeing that pattern. You can look back like a year ago and look around the same time frame, same month, you know, same time frame, and see if something like that happened whenever that same trigger happened this time. Go back and look. And then you can kind of see the pattern of how it works and when it hits you. So, and then you got to piece together what happened in that moment or that day that triggered that particular pattern. All right, so I didn't even make it over to this part, but this is the clarity, the overall clarity for this. And you guys got synchronicity, 87. But here is the kicker on the deal. The bottom of the deck is a 78. It's 87, 78, you know. Synchronicity, you know, that just double clarifies that card. This one is a 78, spiritual career. Underneath that's teaching and learning. But it was kind of just amplifying the synchronicity. So you guys may be seeing a lot of synchronicities right now, whether it be numbers, on the clock, license plates, gas prices, phone numbers. I mean, anywhere where there's numbers, you can be seeing a lot of synchronicities. And these equal 6. And for some of you, and this may only be like a couple of you, you may be looking into a spiritual career that involves synchronicity, that involves numbers. A numerologist, maybe? I'm not for sure what they're called. I mean, I study numbers, but I know there's certain people that actually have a career out of this. That just may be for a couple of you. But I feel with the synchronicity and the spiritual career, I kind of feel like you guys are being led by numbers. If you've been studying numbers for a while, you can see what they're trying to tell you. Like if you're going somewhere and you start seeing 5s, you know, and then you get there and whatever you were going to do fell through, or it didn't work out, or this happened, and it was something that would be like a 5, you know, a change, something different happened than what you thought was going to happen. Once you start pinning down the numbers, and you'll start seeing it on your drive everywhere you go, and I've been experiencing this where I see it everywhere I go. License plates, on the clock, on the phone, gas prices, anywhere where there's numbers, you start recognizing these things and paying attention to them, because they are your guides, your angels, whatever you associate with it that you feel gives you messages, your higher self. They are letting you know. They are guiding you with those things. So it could be, Aquarius, that you guys are seeing a lot of numbers. And like I said, 87, 78, those could mean something to you, or the number 6, 11, And then the Cancer energy is a 7. But I really feel like some of you may be getting some sort of creative spark with this this next full moon coming in, this Pisces full moon. I really feel like you're going to get some sort of little spark, and someone may be your muse, something may be your muse that's helping initiate this. It could be a Cancerian. It's possible with the Cancer card coming out, or you could have Cancer in your chart, and it's saying that you're nurturing this aspect right now. But that is what I have for you guys. I hope it helps someone. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Hey Libra. I was getting librarians with you guys. Some of you guys may do a lot of research. It's the only thing I could think of, unless maybe one or two of you actual librarians, but I kind of feel like it's just research. But the first card, well, the first two I should say, you guys got 2 cards. Usually I only ask for 1 card, but if 2 come out, then I go ahead and roll with it. So you got the Scorpio I Transform number 20 and Chiron Healing number 8. So with these two here, the Death card and the Chiron, you guys have gone through a death and rebirth. So I feel like with that, because it is the Chiron card, Chiron is the wounded healer. It's the wound that you're here to heal in this lifetime. So I feel like you guys have healed this. Whatever your Chiron is, you'll have to look in your birth chart. Most of you, if you follow tarot and stuff like that, you've probably already researched your birth chart and everything, but there's lots of free ones online. I use Astrodensed, but there's all kinds of free ones where you can get your birth chart. It's important that you use your time, your actual time of birth. The closer you can get to it, the more accurate your chart will be. But I feel like this is saying that you've healed whatever this is in your Chiron. Because the card that was underneath on the Black Moon Astrology was the first house, the body, which is a 25, which is also a 7. So you could be seeing 2s, 5s, 7s, 8s. The Libra card from the Barbary Zodiac Oracle is also a 7. I don't know if you can see that. 7 right up here. That's the number for the Libra card. So it's possible that you guys are seeing 7s. You also have a 10 here, which it's 46, but it equals a 10, which breaks down to a 1, domestic harmony. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because this is for the clarity over the entire spread. The bottom of that deck is effort, which is a number 13, which equals a 4. So possibly seeing 6s, 4s, and 6s together. Like I said, 46 breaks down to a 10, which is a 1. This card, the first house, the body, represents the Fool card. So completion of a cycle. And you've been working on this Chiron, because this right here is your current influence. So this is what you're going through right now. And this won't resonate for, all Libras. It just depends on where it's aspected in your chart right now at this time. But some of you are going through a death and rebirth. and ready to take a leap into the new energy. And we're stepping into the Pisces energy. Tomorrow is 9/9. I believe that's another portal, kind of like the Leo portal we had, but this one's a different portal. So stepping into that, having completed this cycle, healing this. The next card that you guys got out, though, from the Soul's Journey was Peace. It says, I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. And then the bottom of that was love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So you've got peace and love. So with this being your guidance, I really feel this is super important for you guys. They're wanting you to know during this time, since you've just gone through this transition, this death and rebirth, they're wanting you to know that it's important to cleanse your energy, because this talks about I release all negative energy. So spiritual baths, Epsom salt baths, whatever you utilize to help cleanse your energy. Also sage, Palo Santo, incense. Each one of you from different areas of the world, you have your own ritual, your own thing you utilize to cleanse your energy, especially when you go through death and a rebirth and you have healed something within you. You want to make sure that you cleanse that energy out, so that way there's no residue, remnants of that energy. Because next to that you have love. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So you guys have just gone through this death and rebirth. You're wanting to step into the full. I do feel like, though, with the Mercury being retrograde, and I kind of feel, I've noticed within my own life, when Mercury goes retrograde, it's kind of like, feels like time slows down. I don't know if that sounds weird, but it feels like it slows down to me, and that gives me the time to process something that I have worked through. So, and you guys may be in that right now in between space. You've just completed this energy and now you're wanting to step into the full energy, but I kind of feel like there's a pause here because you have releasing any negative energy and then committing to the practice of seeing the good in all things. So that transitional period, cleansing everything, and seeing things from a new perspective with new exuberance, new fulfillment within self, embracing self-love. And with this domestic harmony over here and effort, some of you are either going to be taking a leap toward a new relationship, or reestablishing a relationship, or just, if it's within a relationship you currently have, then the effort, you're going to be putting forth effort, but in a different, maybe a different way than you've done before. And we all know that what we give, we get back. So what we give, we receive. So I think maybe there's been some changes since this transition with Libras. And the domestic harmony, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. This can be a relationship with a child, with a friend, family member. It can be any types of relationships. You can just be putting effort into relationships differently than what you did prior to this transformation. Because the Chiron, this is one that until we get to a state in our life to where we start researching ourselves and wanting to know more about our birth charts and finding out more about what each one of them mean. We don't really understand or know or notice that we are walking through life with all of these wounds and these things that we're carrying around with us, like 1,000 bags of baggage, you know, just dragging them around everywhere we go. But as we get further on this journey and we start doing more research, you know, and maybe that's kind of where I got that research feel with the librarian thing, researching and understanding what the Chiron represents, understanding more about our own birth chart, you know, how we can pinpoint specific things in the birth chart. Some of you may actually be studying that right now. Some of you may be actually looking into your Chiron. But I really feel with this death card, you have just completed that. And some of you, it may have taken you half of your lifetime on this planet to do that. Or you could be still young. I mean, you could be in your 20s. Or you could be 46, 25, could be 13. But I really feel like this is an older group, at least 20 or over. Well, that's what I have for you guys. I hope this assisted you guys in some way, at least one of you. I hope you guys have a beautiful evening, and I will see you guys.
So what now, new subscribers? We to be two immortals locked in an epic battle until Judgment Day and the trumpet sounds, or you could surrender.